market? Well, for openers, you're the Attorney General. Number two, you're sitting before the House Judiciary Committee. So why would you think that would be appropriate? You think that the Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing with the Attorney General to talk about the economy? Why would that even make sense? That would be like bringing the head of the Defense Department or the War Department in front of the Intelligence Committee or Foreign Relations Committee and saying, hey, why are we talking about the Super Bowl? Why are we talking about education? I don't know. It's the Judiciary Committee and you're the Attorney General. This is a story from the Wall Street Journal about this disaster. It says, quote, Attorney General Pam Bondi defended the Justice Department's release of files from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation during a fiery congressional hearing in which she traded barbs with Democrats, praised President Trump, and declined to apologize to a group of the convicted sex offenders' victims seated behind her. Her appearance on Wednesday before the House Judiciary Committee got off to a tense start when Democrats blasted the department's redactions of material in the released Epstein files, which revealed photos and intimate details about numerous victims, while keeping some prominent names secret. Representative Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat, said, your department has shown a pattern of redacting the names of powerful predators. He asked the victims seated behind Bondi to raise their hands if they had been unable to meet with the Justice Department to discuss their concerns. All 11 people raised their hands. He said, will you turn to them now and apologize for what the DOJ has put them through? Bondi said, I am not going to get in the gutter for this woman. Get in the gutter. The dramatic exchange set the tone for the rest of the hearing, with Bondi and her Democratic questionnaires frequently interrupting each other with shouts and recriminations. She accused lawmakers of trying to engage in theatrics and directed pointed criticism at those challenging the Trump administration's actions, including its immigration crackdown and investigations into a pair of deadly shootings by federal agents. She said, you sit here and attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I am not going to put up with it. The Dow is over 50,000 right now, the S&P at almost 7,000, and the NASDAQ smashing records. That's what we should be talking about. She said, this isn't a circus, it's a hearing. The Dow, the NASDAQ? What is wrong with you? Are you retarded? You're the Attorney General. This is a hearing for the Judiciary Committee. You run the Justice Department. You are in the middle of a giant scandal with the Justice Department. You just released 3 million documents about a huge criminal investigation. And you're saying, why aren't we talking about the NASDAQ? I don't know. Why would we be talking about the NASDAQ here? Why would the Attorney General of the Justice Department at the Judiciary Committee in the middle of this scandal be talking about the stock market? You fucking idiot. I mean, does that even make any sense? One of the bill's primary sponsors, Representative Thomas Massie, questioned Bondi during Wednesday's hearing over what he described as multiple failures, including the inadvertent release of victim details and the redaction of famous names. He said, quote, literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. Massie told her. Bondi, in turn, blamed the Biden administration for its handling of the files. She said this cover-up spans decades and you are responsible for this portion of it. Rather, that's what Thomas Massie said. Bondi was dismissive. She said, this guy has Trump derangement syndrome. You're a failed politician. Representative Jamie Raskin said, we saw your performance in the Senate and we're not going to accept that. This isn't a game. She hit back, you don't tell me anything, you washed-up loser lawyer. Most Republicans rallied to Bondi's defense, saying she was working to correct a Justice Department that her Democratic predecessors had wielded as a weapon against Trump and his supporters. Representative Brandon Gill said, thank you for returning the DOJ back to its core focus, which is on the rule of law. Now, here is what likely happened. So first of all, let's just say this. This is a catastrophe. This is a total disaster. I don't know what they think they're doing here. I don't know if they think this is working or what they think they're getting away with. This is not working. They're not getting away with anything. and they haven't been for an entire year. I don't know what Trump is thinking. I don't know who is telling him that this is working, but it isn't. This Epstein scandal has been going on and on, basically for a year now. I believe it was in February of last year when they gave out the binders to D.C. Trano and Mike Cernovich and Scott Pressler. This has been going on since then. And then Pam Bondi said the files were on her desk. And then Trump lied and said that he didn't have 1,000 FBI agents look for his name in the files. And then they put out that memo saying case closed. Then they shut down Congress early to prevent them from forcing the DOJ to release the files. This has been going on and on for a year, and it's getting worse. This is getting worse all the time. It started out very small last February. They tried that binder distraction, and people were suspicious, and people didn't like it, but it was relatively contained. Now, this is like destroying the GOP. Look at the favorables. Look at the numbers. It is a disaster. It is especially a disaster for the younger people. It is killing Trump's favorability. It's killing his job approval. Nobody is happy with this. And you see this performance today. This trap is just not working, and it never has. This has been their playbook basically since July, where the public are demanding answers, which, by the way, they have a right to. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein was a very sick criminal connected to a lot of powerful people. The DOJ is lying about what they have. This is a problem of their own creation. It was the DOJ that said there are no files, there are no other persons of interest. Well, both of those things are now provably lies, demonstrably lies. We have 6 million files, or rather they have acknowledged the existence of 6 million files. We have 3 million, and we have at the minimum 6 people likely incriminated by the files, 4 of which have not been named. So this is a problem of their own creation. They lied about it. The public is reasonable for demanding transparency and disclosure. And the Trump administration's response, by the way, also to something that they promised. So Trump promised transparency. People are reasonable in demanding it. The DOJ lied and then debunked their own lie. And the Trump admin's response to the pressure is to say, well, this is just fake. This is all fake, and this all just needs to go away. This is all a Democrat hoax, and this is the Biden administration, and this is just a ploy, and we really just need to focus on the economy. And like I said, let's just say in the first place, this is not working. No one is buying this. This is not effective. This is not smart. This is a catastrophic failure. It's not even close. Like, it's a disaster. Now, why are they doing this? Let me tell you what is happening in the White House. Trump is delusional. Okay? You need to know this. Trump is sick. He is a delusional person. I don't know if it's his age. I don't know if it's his personality. I don't know if it's because he's been in this reality distortion field for so long. But I know firsthand from people that talk to the president, from people that know the president, this guy is delusional. You pick up the phone and talk to the president. You go to a meeting and talk to the president. And I know people that have done this. And it's hours of self-congratulations. Hours of, this is my most successful administration. We've done more than anybody. The East Wing is going great. We've got the best numbers. It's all the... So this is like the Mad King. This guy is sick. He believes his own press. He is in his own world. Out here, in reality, everybody knows this is a disaster. Everybody knows immigration's a disaster. The economy's a disaster. The foreign policy's a disaster. It's a giant disappointment. This Epstein thing is a catastrophe. He doesn't know that. Now, because of that, and because of his cult-like control over the administration, He is advising his people to run this playbook. So I'm sure that Pam Bondi is huddling with the president, huddling with the White House before this hearing, and they know the questions are coming. And I'm sure that Trump is telling his people that this is how they got to play it. I'm sure he's telling them, if you get attacked, if you get questions, you got to talk about our record. You got to go back to how good we're doing. This is Trump and this is Susie Wiles. This is coming from the White House. This is their directive. This is their guidance. And I'm sure little Pam Bondi, this dumb little idiot, is going to the House with her marching orders from Trump and Susie Wiles, and she's going, I'm getting that playbook. They asked me about the giant cover-up of the sex trafficking island. I'm going to talk about the Dow. They asked me about the victims of grooming and sexual trafficking. I'm going to talk about the NASDAQ and the border. And here's the thing. For those that are defending this administration still somehow, at what point is there any accountability? You know, because I know there are a lot of people still defending Trump, and they still think it's five-dimensional chess, and he's winning, and, you know, everybody's like an armchair tactician, and they're talking about how Minnesota's not really a retreat, and this Epstein thing is going really well, and all the rest of it. They say about Trump that he hired all the wrong people. Well, you know, Pam Bondi's the problem. Well, he's getting bad advice. Okay, who hired the people? You know, they say, well, Kristi Noem, well, she's just an idiot. Trump needs a better person. Pam Bondi, she's just an idiot. Trump needs better. He's just getting bad advice. Okay, but this has been going on for 10 years. I've lived through the whole first administration, and it was the same story. It's bad personnel. He's got bad advisors. He's getting bad advice. Okay, well, you know, he's a grown man, and he's the president, and he's 100 years old. So, who hired these people? He did. He handpicked them. He hand-selected them. Who's taking the advice? He is. Like, there's no excuse. And then they want to blame it on the Biden administration. They say, well, this is Biden's DOJ. It's a Democrat op. This is left over from Biden. Okay, so why the fuck did we elect you then? We're a year in. We are a year into our golden age. We are 25% through with this second term. And you don't have it figured out by now? They're still blaming it on the Democrats? Isn't that kind of what they do with everything? Why is there no peace in Ukraine? Well, the Democrats left us a mess. Why is the economy still bad? Well, the Democrats left us a mess. Well, why are the Epstein files still covered up? Well, the Democrats ruined the DOJ. Okay, so why elect Republicans then? If Democrats get in, everything's your fault. If Republicans get in, everything's the Democrats' fault. If Trump gets elected, well, it's not really his fault. It's only the people that he hired that are at fault. I've been saying it for a long time. The problem is him. This is a difficult pill for people to swallow, and I get it, and I understand, and I know. The problem is him. He is fundamentally not up to the job. He is out to lunch. He has never been good at governing. Not in the first term, not in the second term. He does not have it together. His people suck. The advice sucks. His instincts are terrible. And I'm sure he told Pam Bondi, you got to go out there in the House, and you just got to go on the record. You got to go and play up our record, and you got to dodge all this stuff about Epstein. Now, here's the problem for Trump. This Epstein scandal is not going anywhere. This is a huge problem. Everybody knows about it. We don't have censorship anymore, so people that are talking about it are not going to be banned. They're not going to be silenced or deboosted. And this is going to go straight into the midterms. What do you think the Democrat playbook is going to be in 2026? The Democrats have a major cash disadvantage going in, but the polls are favorable. Historically, it favors the opposing party. And they're going to run this Epstein thing. They're going to run it from now until the midterm elections. And you know what's going to happen? The Democrats are going to take the House. Now, what happens in 2027 when Democrats have a majority in the House? They get committees. They get subpoena power. And what do you think they're going to do throughout 2027? They're going to haul everybody before the House committee, the House Select Committee on Jeff Epstein, the House Select Committee on all these things, and they're going to drudge up all this stuff in 2027. They're going to compel testimony. They're going to compel the release of more documents. And they're going to put it in the media by talking about it and doing it, impeaching, indicting. They're going to put it in the media. And they're going to do it throughout 2027 into 2028. And then it's going to be a story in the 2028 election. Okay? This isn't going anywhere because the Democrats are going to be pushing it. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. And here's the thing about all this. You know, in a certain sense, obviously the Democrats are exploiting it for their advantage. Let's not be naive here. Okay, Democrats are implicated in the files just as much as Republicans. They just are. Bill Clinton was on Lolita Express. Howard Lutnick is inviting Epstein to a Hillary Clinton fundraiser. Epstein is using similar coded language, just like the Podestas were in the WikiLeaks emails with Pizzagate. So let's not pretend like anybody's innocent here. It's Republicans and Democrats. And it is true that the Biden administration had 4 years to release the files, and they didn't. So the Democrats are exploiting it. Here is the issue for Republicans. They ran on releasing the files, and more than that, they ran on draining the swamp. Isn't that the whole conceit of Trumpism? Isn't that the whole point? Trump ran in 2016 saying, we are going to drain the swamp. We are the voice for the forgotten men and women of America. I am not a politician. I am an outsider. And we're going to deliver a real victory. And we are going to get rid of the corruption. And we're going to make America great again. I mean, literally, that was the conceit of the first Trump administration. And I told you at the very beginning, there's something sort of richly ironic about this hearing. Because when I see Pam Bondi, and she's fielding these questions, and she's doing this Trumpian pivot, and she says, you're a loser lawyer, you have Trump derangement syndrome, you're a failed politician, what about our record? She's channeling Trump. That's classic Trump, you're a loser lawyer. She's channeling Trump. But in a way, it's like it's a sick farce. It's like a warped and twisted and ironic farce. Because when Trump invented that playbook in 2016, when he would call them Little Marco and Lion Ted and all that kind of stuff, Crooked Hillary, when he would pivot and he would do these kinds of things, it was attractive and it was appealing. And it felt righteous because he was sitting on our side. He was the voice of the people. And he was directing it against a corrupt establishment. He was fielding questions from the corrupt establishment, which was connected to Epstein, which was connected to the Podestas, which was connected to all this evil stuff. All the lies about the wars in the Middle East, all the lies about the elites, all the lies about the weird sexual stuff and Comet Ping Pong and the weird art and all of that. And Trump was fighting them on our behalf. So when he was diminutive, when he was calling them Little Marco and Lion Ted and Crooked Hillary and doing that playbook, he was the champion of the people. Now, here we are 10 years later, and it's reversed. And like I said, it's like this, it's like a sick parody. It's like a bizarro parody of Trumpism, where now Trump's people represent a new establishment. It's like Animal Farm. And now the new guard is indistinguishable from the old regime. The Trumpists, Mar-a-Lago, MAGA, is indistinguishable from the Clinton machine, from the global special interests. I mean, think about this. In 2016, Trump was railing against special interests, the big banks, the international institutions, foreign governments, foreign spies. And he was even talking about how Bill Clinton was a sexual predator. Now, it's a mirror image. And it's Thomas Massie and the Democrats interrogating Trump's attorney general, and they're in the position of protecting the privileged. They are protecting the pedophiles. They are protecting the elites, the sex traffickers. You have the Democrats and Thomas Massie interrogating the Trump administration about how they are not being transparent. They're covering up for Epstein. They're covering up for the bankers. They're covering up for Ronald Lauder. They're covering up for Les Wexner. They're covering up for the Emirates, for Israel, for Ehud Barak. They're trying to save face for the global special interests, for the corrupt, for these degenerates that run the society. And Pam Bondi is doing it in this Trumpian way, and it's like a house of mirrors. It's like an evil, wicked farce. She's doing the, oh, okay, little Marco in defense of Epstein. Okay, lying lawyer. Oh, that's Trump derangement syndrome. You're a failed politician. In defense of Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner and World Jewry. Literally the sickest shit imaginable. And like I said on Friday, who are they really protecting? And this is important. People say they're pedo protectors. It is true that the people they're protecting are engaged in sexual assault, and increasingly it looks like they are protecting something more sinister. When you look at the coded language and the rest of it, at the minimum, it's sexual perversion, trafficking, prostitution, at the minimum, what can be proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. What they're really protecting, however, is world Jewry. As we talked about on Friday, every single thing about Epstein is Jewish. Leon Black and Les Wexner, his two benefactors, Jewish. Howard Lutnick, Benjamin Black, Kevin Warsh, all of these Trump admin nominees and personnel, they're all Jewish and connected to Epstein. When you see Pam Bondi going out there as the gladiator in defense of this, talking about the stock market, it is in defense of global Jewry, which controls this administration. And there's something really twisted about this, which is there is another lens to look at the Trump administration. A lot of people see the Trump administration as a disappointment or a failure. They look at it as a mixed bag. Well, we're getting some things, but we're disappointed with other things. We're rooting for Trump, but some things we can't get over. It's very important to have the right mental model about what is really happening. We have to categorize things and periodicize things correctly. It's very important how we conceptualize things. And I think people are conceptualizing the Trump administration all wrong. Think about the plan trusters, people that really support the president, voted for the president, and in their mind, you know, they like Trump, they agree with Trump, Trump represents the party they support, and they're looking at it like it's a race, or like it's a game, and they're in the stands, and they're cheering, they got their foam finger, they got their hat, and they need to keep the morale up. They got to rally, and they got to clap, and do the wave, so that their guy on the field gets a boost and he can win the race, he can win the game. And they're looking at it like it's this back and forth. There's innings, there's quarters. You know, sometimes Trump is in the lead and he's really performing well, and sometimes he falls behind, he's not doing so well, and we got to show up for the team, win, lose, or draw, rain or shine. That's kind of how they look at it. They're looking at it like a horse race, like a baseball game. And when they see this stuff with Epstein, they say to themselves, like a fan does in the stands, they say, come on, Trump, what are you doing? You know, keep your eye on the ball. They're saying, come on, oh, that's a terrible call. You know, what are you doing? But this is how they're looking at it. This is the wrong mental model. It's the wrong way to look at it. There's another lens how you can look at the Trump administration. I don't think it's like that at all. I don't think it's a horse race. I don't think it's a baseball game. I don't think he's our team. He's not our team representing us. Trump is a man, and he's representing himself. And 2 years ago, he had a lot of problems. He was a man with a lot of problems. He was facing 100 years in prison. And that was a problem that could only be solved by becoming the president. Right? You're Trump. You're one of the most hated men in the world. You're going bankrupt. You're facing 100 years in prison. And you don't just have yourself to worry about, but your whole family. Maybe you can afford to go to prison, although you don't want to. Who's going to take care of the Trump organization? What are those people going to do when they're out of a job? So Trump has to run for office, and he's got to win. Well, how does he do that? Who's going to help him win the presidency? Well, it's pretty clear that after October 7th, the Jews decided that a Republican had to win, and they didn't want it to be Trump. First, they wanted it to be DeSantis. Then they wanted it to be Haley. And Trump, as a self-advocate, fought them and got the nomination. So they got stuck with Trump. But they needed him to win. And they needed him to win, maybe to do these jobs. They needed Trump to win. Why? So they could turn Gaza into a smart city, into a blockchain smart city. They needed Trump so they could take the West Bank. They needed Trump so they could expand the Abraham Accords in Syria and Lebanon. They needed Trump so they could get their war with Iran. They needed Trump maybe to bury the Epstein files. And one way to look at Trump is that he is like a Trojan horse. You were the sucker, actually, in this deal. It's not like Trump needed the Jewish money to get elected to help you out. No, he needed your votes to get elected to help the Jewish money out. And MAGA, the movement, is just a casualty. That's kind of how you have to look at it. For them, all of the hopes and dreams and aspirations that were projected onto Trump or placed onto Trump, the true belief, the following, all of this to them is an acceptable casualty. It's collateral damage. It will burn up. Well, like a rocket, re-entry. All of that is stuff that will burn up so that the payload can be delivered. And the payload is the war. The payload is the cover-up. Trump is a lame duck. He's term limited out. And this administration is really about securing as much money as possible for him and his cronies so that he can have a golden parachute. That's really what this is. When you pay very close attention, Trump coin and gold card and Trump this and Trump that, all the shit that he's selling, all the deals that he's doing on behalf of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the Emirates and Israel, this is him building a safety net, a golden parachute for him and his family. That's what everybody in the cabinet is doing. In order to secure that, they're using the public office, the wars, the deals, all these different things. And in the process, all of that goodwill is being basically burned up as fuel. It's being eaten up and destroyed. That's really the proper mental model. I said it the other night. Trump wasn't elected and he's covering up the files, much to our dismay. Trump isn't elected and he's not doing mass deportations. To our frustration, he's not elected and he's going to war. And, you know, we're like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar. Like, what are you doing? War with Iran? What are you thinking? You know, like, no, you can't do this. Like, no, he got elected to do those things. He got elected to bring us to war in Iran, to cover up the files, to bring in the H-1Bs. That's why he's there. And unless and until you understand that, it's just going to keep happening. And it will happen again in 28 with Vance. Who is Pam Bondi? Who picked Pam Bondi, actually? It's an important question. Anybody know where Pam Bondi comes from? These are the details you guys need to think about. You want to understand politics? Where does J.D. Vance come from? Ohio. Les Wexner is from Ohio. Vivek is from Ohio. Palmer Luckey is building his plant in Ohio. Okay, these are the things that matter. Where's Pam Bondi from? Florida. Mike Waltz, the disgraced national security advisor who sold us out to Netanyahu, is from Florida. Marco Rubio, puppet of the Adelsons, sponsor of regime change, is from Florida. Why are these people from Florida? Because Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, is from Florida. The Ballard lobbyist, she's from Florida. And she brought all the Florida creatures with her. Who else is from Florida? The Adelsons. The Adelsons are headquartered in Florida, and they sponsor everybody in Florida. Because what's Florida? It's a Jewish stronghold. South Florida's a Jewish stronghold. Pam Bondi is some idiot Zionist politician from Florida, from the DeSantis office, which is pro-Jewish. Okay? You were never going to get anything other than this. People are disappointed. You were never going to get anything other than this. It was apparent last year in December during the transition when Trump was making his selections for the cabinet, and it was Rubio, Waltz, Bondi, Kristi Noem, Ratcliffe. We knew we were going to get fucked. We knew it because that's where they came from and that's who they are. Then people are shaking their head. They're disappointed. They're surprised. You can't be. You can't be. This is what you get. I warned you about Susie Wiles. I warned you about Pam Bondi. I warned you about Rubio, Vance, Waltz, all these people. And now she's in the congressional hearing. They're asking her to release the files. She says, what about the stock market? We're moving on. What about a record? Yeah, what about your record? It sucks. So the Epstein files are going to destroy the Trump movement, and good. They should. The Trump movement deserves to be destroyed, and something else needs to be born from it. Something else needs to grow in its place. Something stronger, tougher, harder, more severe. And it's not J.D. Vance, I'll tell you that much. By the way, where's our good pal J.D. Vance on the files? Here, let me tell you the most important question to ask in the next 3 years. Where is J.D. Vance on the Epstein files? You know, because everybody keeps telling me that J.D. Vance is the real deal. Everybody keeps telling me, no, I've talked to him and he's legit. No, I trust him. No, I think he's good. You know, I think he's the real deal. Oh, really? Why? Because he did a photo op with Charlie Kirk's casket? Why? Because he threw himself in front of the cameras? Every opportunity on immigration, on the issues for the base, because he was at the Turning Point convention. Where is J.D. Vance, the whisperer to the base? Where is he on the Epstein files? He's pulling up Bronze Age pervert GPT to try to find the base thing to say about this, isn't he? Like everything else, he's trying to go to the AI model that was trained on BAP and Raw Egg Nationalist that was funded by Peter Thiel, and he's trying to find the LLM that's going to tell him what to say about the files. Where is it? It's not in Palladium. Where is it? Where's my hot take? Where's my hot take for the base chuds on the Epstein files? I'm not getting it. It's not coming up. Where is fat chud J.D. Vance that just wants to drink Code Red and play Halo with you on this one? Is he going to prosecute Les Wexner? Is he going to speak out against Howard Lutnick? Is he going to push the DOJ for accountability? Or is he going to defer to President Trump on this one, like he does with everything? This fucking idiot. So I'm telling you, this Epstein thing, this is the albatross. This is the rotting, infected wound in the center of the Trump movement. It is going to kill it slowly, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait. I hope the Epstein scandal costs them the midterms. I hope it allows Democrats to impeach and indict and subpoena every member of this Trump government. And I hope that this goes on until 2028. And I hope that this piece of shit Trump administration brings down J.D. Vance with it. I fantasize about the Trump administration being a burning building and J.D. Vance is chained to the mattress and he's going to burn with it. I cannot fucking wait, because it couldn't happen to a more deserving person and group of people than these. That's my hope. That is my aspiration. And out of the ashes of this disaster, we can actually get something real. We can actually get something new, something different. We could get somebody, maybe it's a dark horse, maybe it's somebody nobody's talking about yet, but we could get a different kind of candidate that's actually going to do the job. That's my aspiration. That's my hope here. And mark my words, that is what's going to happen. Democrats are going to ride this one. They are going to bring the House of Cards down, and they're going to bring it down on fat-ass J.D. Vance. You played yourself, Tucker. Tucker played himself on this one. Tucker and Vance, all these people, Peter Thiel, they played themselves. You know, I can't destroy the Thiel network, but he can, Jeffrey Epstein. And you wonder why we stand Epstein. You wonder why we wear the quarterstaff. You know, I can't bring down the Jewish-controlled Trump puppet government. I can't bring down the entity known as J.D. Vance. But he can. Jeffrey Epstein in the background. But he can. Jeffrey Epstein, if you get it from beyond the grave. From beyond the grave, Jeffrey Epstein is going to bring down the Trump edifice, and the roof will cave in on top of J.D. Vance and that whole fake bullshit thing they're trying to foist upon us. It's perfect. It's poetic. I'm here for it. And you know what? Here's the best part. It doesn't even need to be this way. At any time, they could reverse this. Don't you realize that? At any point in time, the Trump administration could reverse this, and they could have a golden age. How? Fire Howard Lutnick. Indict Les Wexner. Release the files. Feed these people to the sharks, not yourself. If Trump were smart, he would feed them to the wolves instead of going down with the ship. It doesn't have to be this way. If Trump unredacted all the files, if he came out on True Social tomorrow and said, you know what, enough bullshit, Pam Bondi, release every file, unredact everything, we'll indict everybody, we'll fire anybody that's named in there, the approval would flip overnight. Overnight. Trump's approval with 18 to 29s would soar. Favorability would soar. Job approval would soar. Overnight, it would be corrected, and he would be seen as a hero. All he has to do, cut the foreign aid to Israel, call up Netanyahu and say, we are standing with Iran. We are standing with our other allies, Turkey, Egypt, Emirates, Qatar, Pakistan, Oman, and soon to be Iran. We are not bombing them. We're not doing another Middle Eastern war. As a matter of fact, we're doing regime change in Israel. When is Israel going to hold the new election? And when are you actually going to see justice? We'll stand behind our European allies, France, UK, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Germany, Italy, calling for accountability for Israel. Trump did those two things, he would cement his legacy as one of the great presidents of all time. He would be the people's champion. He would be America first. He could do it. He's the president of the United States. And the next move, you do all that, you get enough political capital, you get rid of the filibuster rule, you do the nuclear option, you get rid of the filibuster, and then you jam through voting reform. You jam through nationwide voter ID, and Republicans never lose an election again. You jam through mandatory E-Verify. You deport 5 million illegals in 4 years. Like, it could be done. You're the president. You are the president. You have the power. You're in the chair. You're in the office. They won't. These are the two realities that we could inhabit. Either one, Trump goes down with world Jewry, he goes down with the ship, he goes down with Israel and Les Wexner and Jeff Epstein and Howard Lutnick and this sick shit, or he could do the right thing. And maybe that's idealistic and maybe that's naive. But you're the president. You could take a stand. You could hunker down in the White House. You could get your Secret Service and you can make it a fortress and you can lean in. That's really what it is. So, this is your Pam Bondi situation. What a joke. That's your Attorney General. You should feel embarrassed. You should feel humiliated. Trump promised most transparent administration. We're going to release the Epstein files. We're going to put America first. We're going to drain the swamp. And now you've got Epstein. You've got Ronald Lauder in the files. Leon Black's kid is running the Development Finance Corporation. Ronald Lauder's kid is going to be the chair of the Federal Reserve. Howard Lutnick is the Commerce Secretary. All these guys are on the board for peace in Gaza. Joe Lonsdale's working with Benjamin Black on the DFC. Peter Thiel invested $40 million with Epstein. And his guy Vance is the vice president. Like, it's so entrenched. They told you they were going to release the files, and now you got your attorney general defending all of that. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in 2016, when Trump was saying the war in Iraq was a mistake, and we're going to build a wall, and all this kind of stuff, who would have thought Trump would be the one to deliver the decisive blow, the regime change war against Iran that Israel always wanted? It's so backwards. Who would have thought that Trump would be the one to protect the ultimate insider, Jeffrey Epstein? Talk about a swamp. Who would have thought? So that's the state of the play. That's your Pam Bondi. Who can even defend that? Where's John Doyle? Where's Patrick Casey? You going to defend that performance? You fucking idiots. I look at a guy like John Doyle from Blaze TV. He literally got hired to be a goyish version of me. That's what you are. You are a skin-suited, goyish version of me. You are the version of me that is paid by Glenn Beck, the wannabe Jew, because you're never going to criticize Israel. You're going to glaze Trump. And Doyle's job on Goy TV, on Blaze TV, is to glaze Trump. It's like Glaze TV. Your job is to go in and day out and say, here's why Trump is the end-all be-all. Here's why voting Republican. What do you have to say about this? Pam Bondi goes there and says, what about the Dow? She's a fucking idiot, and Trump hired her. And there is something in the Epstein files, and they are covering it up, obviously. What do you have to say about Les Wexner? What do you have to say about these people being involved in this? And they say, oh, it's a Democrat hoax. It's a big nothing burger. Do you even believe yourself? Do you even believe what you're saying? They have been memed into being these, like, Republican creatures. Once upon a time, Trump was an outsider that blew up the establishment in both parties. Now Trump is the Republican establishment, and you are just on the hamster wheel now. You're just on the wheel. You are on the treadmill, forever chasing the reward that will never arrive. We'll get him in the next one, right? Isn't that right? You know, before the election, this is the most important election ever. This is the one. It's going to be different this time. Then you're in it. Well, we know it's not everything you wanted, but, you know, we got to help them finish the job. We got to vote in the next one, right? You are literally a mouse. You are a hamster on a wheel chasing a reward. You are a mouse on a wheel chasing a block of cheese. 2016, we're going to make America great again. 2018, you know, we didn't even get started on that wall. But that's because we just need more votes. 2020, Okay, we didn't build anything. Well, you got to vote for us. We can keep it great. 2022. Well, we didn't even try to have election integrity or anything. We got to hold the line, or the Democrats are going to eat our lunch. 2024, golden age. 2026. Well, we got to get back on track. We need another vote. Yep, just keep running. Just keep running. Just keep running. Just keep running on that wheel, running on the treadmill. You'll get the cheese eventually. You'll get the reward. In the meantime, the other side is getting everything they want. They got their corporate tax cut. That's been a done deal for 10 years. Think about that. We can't get a stinking wall built. You know how much a border wall costs? It costs $17 billion. You know how much a corporate tax rate cut costs? Like $800 billion. Think of it. 10 years ago, Trump said, we're going to build a wall and Mexico will pay for it. That cost $17 billion. You know how much it costs to cut corporate taxes 10% for 10 years? Like $500 billion. And we've had it for 10 years. Think about that. You know how much money we've given Israel in the past 10 years? $38 billion. You know how much we gave them last year? $25 billion. So you're chasing that reward on the hamster wheel, and meanwhile, AI gets their regulation moratorium. Wall Street gets their corporate tax cut. They get their lower interest rate. They get their COVID bailout. Israel gets their aid, their missiles, their war. You see, this is the problem. Anyway, but that's that. And they say, well, we can't do deportations because it's unpopular. Then they cover up the Epstein files, right? We can't do deportations. It's too unpopular. Then they cover up the Epstein files, DHS just gets finished. We got to draw down ICE. We're not going to deport anybody at all. Just the worst criminals ever because it's too unpopular. Then they walk down the hall and they say, you're out of order. Jeffrey Epstein was a model citizen and Howard Lutnick did nothing wrong. It's like, okay, you're being fucked. You're being lied to and you are being raped. We're just so sorry. We cannot deport 10 million people. Too unpopular and we don't have the money and it just can't happen. Covering up the Epstein files like your life depends on it. Hey, say no more. It will be done. It will be done, my lord. I pledge myself to your teachings, Lord Wexner. This is how it is. So, unless and until the base rises up of middle American radicals and puts their foot down and says, we're not voting for any of it. And I think here's my playbook, okay? This is the future. You know where this is headed? We need an independent candidate. Maybe they're going to run in the Republican primary, and if they don't win, they're going to go independent. But this is what we need to do. We need a spoiler. We need to run as Republican, and if we don't win, we need to be a spoiler. I recognize it's a bad idea to tell people don't vote, because then people say, well, we got to use our vote. Here's what we got to do. Run in the Republican primary. If you don't win, run as a spoiler. And we need everybody to vote for the spoiler. Call it the America First nuclear option. Call it the America First Samson option. This is the Nick Fuentes option. This is the yay button. This is our Samson option. You don't want to release the files. You don't want to deport the illegals. We are all going to vote for a third-party candidate. We're all going to vote for an independent that is promising to go after Les Wexner, that is promising to release the files, that is promising to get Israel to back down. And we're not going to get a majority. But if we get even 5%, 10%, Republicans cannot win an election. If we get 5 to 10% in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Georgia, you are fucked. And you can't win. You can't win. can't win in those states. You can't win in Iowa. You can't win in Ohio. You can't win in Indiana. And it'll be different state by state, but if we can get enough people to vote for an America First candidate, an America First independent, then you lose the election. So either you get that endorsement because you do what we say, or it's off the table, you can't win. That's how we have to play. That's the only thing we can do. And we got to take that challenge to Fat Boy J.D. Vance. That's what he's going to have to contend with. It's not good enough. It's not enough. So that's that. So we're going to move on, though. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Let me take a look here. But that's my playbook for 2026, 2028. They're asking, what do you want? What is it that you actually want? I want a cleansing fire. They say, we can't just burn it all down. We're going to. We're going to. You fucked up, and now we're going to. We are going to burn it all down, and we're going to build something different. And I don't care how long it takes. Maybe it'll take 30 years. I'm a young man. And I got nothing but time. I don't have money. I don't have connections. Okay, I don't have family. I got nothing but time. Nothing but time. It'll take 30 years to rebuild. I got 30 years. I'm 27. I got 30 years. I'll still be spry. I'll still be, I'll watch my McDonald's intake or whatever. But we got time. Fuck them. Fuck them. This administration has squandered any goodwill, any faith that we had in your ability to fix things. You don't have it. Fuck you. Now the whole administration's as criminal illegals. Fuck you. She goes up there and says, what about the Dow Jones? What about that? Do you think any Zoomer is in the Dow Jones? You think any Zoomer is into the stock market? Zoomers are lucky if they have a fucking job. Trump goes up there and says, what about your 401ks? And we want asset prices to go up indefinitely. Okay, what about everybody that's under the age of 45? What about everybody that's under the age of 30? That can't afford a home, that doesn't have a job, gets laid off, takes you a year to get another job, underemployed, you got a degree, and you're working an hourly wage, working a part-time job or something? That's ridiculous. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. We're going to get into these super chats. Let's take a look.
Sean Connery sent $100.
Yo, thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. No message. A mercy. $100 and no message. Beautiful. Absolutely.
Emerald sent $45. Even though you won't be in the gulag, I still ride with you plus the pro-Irish 1000% low America first always. Peace. You're right about the Super Bowl performances. I think us being Irish, Italian Catholics from the North has a lot to do with it. The Busa show was so dorky plus late. The South plus evangelicals love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. The Southern, I don't know what it is, but Southerners, you guys gotta get a little edgier. Southerners have this weird thing going on where they love to see this humility, the false deference. You gotta get like a warrior, Southerners need to be like Rebel Yell, need to be warriors again. Yeah, how about that, huh? I just want to catch my fish. I just want to drink my beer and watch my game. It's like you're a white man. He literally, one of the lyrics is, I keep waking up to all this stuff I don't want to hear. It's like, oh my gosh, you're literally a baby. You're literally crying and you need a safe space. I'll read you the lyrics. Ain't easy being country in this country. This goof. Yeah, he says, I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer, and not wake up to all this stuff I don't want to hear. I'll wake up to stuff I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this. This is bad. It's like, dude, the same kind of gun I hunt with just killed another man. Only thing I ever shot was a deer on my deer stand. People are killing each other with guns. They don't just use them for hunting and fishing. Oh my gosh. I don't want to turn the TV on. Told if I tell my daughter that little boys ain't little girls, I'd be up the creek in hot water in this cancel your ass world. Being told I'm a downright hateful monster if I back the blue and badge. Oh my gosh. It's just so pathetic, man. Pathetic. Pathetic. You're white? You're not white. You're a sorry excuse for a white man. White men used to be Vikings. They would literally pillage and rape everything. You know that? Vikings used to go in and just fucking rip people in half and rape everybody and torch the whole village. And you're crying and saying, I just keep hearing stuff I don't want to hear. You know? It's so sad. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it all ways. White people want to say, we're explorers, pioneers, conquerors, not stolen, conquered. You know, they want to say that, our glorious past. And then they want to say, I just keep hearing stuff I don't want to hear. What, are you going to cancel me? You're going to cancel me because I don't want to be trans? It's just sad. We need to be berserkers again. We need to be warriors.
Coast Side 689 sent $150, and he takes on Dave Fisher in New Founding. Investor stay away.
Well, I'm not going to give you, like, investment advice. But I think Nate Fisher's a smart guy. Thank you for the big super chat. He's a very intelligent guy. He seems good. I worry, though, about some of the partnerships. I'll be honest. I don't know all the inside baseball. Well, I know some of it. But he seems to be affiliated with a lot of these Straussians, and Christian nationalists seem to be infiltrated by these Zionist types, and I think he's got to be careful. I think he's good. There's good people involved, but I think they got to be careful. I think they, like everybody, they're too involved with these Zionists. It's a little bit, we got to be hip. We got to be hip to the threat that they pose.
Sent $20. You can make the AFPB on Israel and Palestine conflict clear when you avoided the big questions. Should Israel as a state exist? If no, why? How many was it? 6 million. 271K. The Hitler alarm is always attractive, but your reading stupid shuts down a path of thinking you haven't even fully articulated. Also debate destiny.
I don't avoid, but first of all, whether Israel exists or not, that's not a big question. When people say, should Israel exist, Israel does exist, okay? And they're not going to stop existing anytime soon. So people say, ought Israel exist? It's an irrelevant question. Israel does exist. Should they not exist? Well, how are you going to go about that? You're either going to need to kill everybody. That's really the only option. So your question is, should Israel be destroyed by a nuclear weapon? They're not going anywhere. They have a nuclear arsenal, and they're not going to leave. So when people say, should Israel exist, well, what are the options then? If they should exist, okay, then they exist. If they should not exist, then how are we going to make them not exist? You'd have to literally nuke them into oblivion. Should that happen? No, I don't think Israel should be nuked into oblivion. I don't think that all of those people should be incinerated in a nuclear war. No, I don't think so. The reason that people say, should Israel exist, does it have a right to exist, they are asking that question like a prosecutor. Why do they ask that question? It's to create a chain of questioning. It's one link in a chain. And so this is how it goes. They say, should Israel exist, or does it have a right to exist? And it's sort of a convoluted question. Does anybody have a right to exist? I mean, what does that mean? What does that really mean? Do I have a right to exist? If yes, then does that justify everything? You know, if I have a right to exist, then what if I decide I don't want to work? Do you have to go to work to feed me? In order to exist, I need food, I need water, I need to be defended at all times. I'm a wanted man. So do I have a right to private security? Should you be enslaved and forced to defend me outside my house because people are trying to kill me? If I have a right to exist, then I am entitled to private security. I'm entitled to food and water. I'm entitled to medicine. I'm entitled to money. I'm entitled to all the things that give me flourishing. And that's really where that goes. Because if Israel has a right to exist, well, then they have to be able to defend themselves. What does that look like? If they have the right to defend themselves, well, then they need our weapons. They need F-35s. They need a nuclear bomb. They need to be able to do whatever they feel is justified for their safety. It's a logical chain. If I have a right to exist and I have a right to defend myself, then Israel has a nuclear arsenal. Then Israel has a qualitative military edge. Israel's entitled to our money. Then Israel's entitled to do whatever they deem is necessary in Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Yemen, Iraq. It's about establishing a logical chain. Here's the thing about that. Every country has an obligation to fight for its own survival. Yeah, I have some natural rights. I have a right to live. I have a natural right to pursue happiness. I have a natural right to the product of my labor. You know, I have natural rights, but I also have obligations. I have to work. I have social commitments. I have obligations in a society. Yes, we have a right to live, but we also have an obligation to toil. How do we eat and sustain ourselves? We have to work the land. And in an advanced, complex economy, we have to do other specialized things to be able to get money to afford food and domicile and the things that are necessary for flourishing, right? Rights and responsibilities. We live in a society, and so we have social obligations. Well, among the community of nations, nations have obligations too. And so, you know, people say Israel has a right to defend itself. Okay, well, you know, the things that they are doing, they are only able to do because we are protecting them. So we are paying for their security. And that creates something called moral hazard. They are getting a good that they don't have to pay for. They're taking risks that are backed up by us. See the problem? Moral hazard means that if I'm underwriting your risky behavior, then you are going to behave in a very risky way because you are insulated from the downside, right? If I tell you that I'm going to give you $100,000 to invest, and I say I'm going to guarantee all your losses, what are you going to do? Are you going to invest in bonds? If I give you $100,000 and say, here's $100,000, invest it how you wish, and if you lose all of it, I'll reimburse you. Are you going to invest it in bonds where you make a 2% return or whatever it is, 3% return, or are you going to invest it in something with the most upside? Because whatever happens, you're going to be made whole again. This is called moral hazard. So we're telling Israel, no matter what happens, we will bail you out. We're telling Israel, if you get into trouble, we will defeat your enemies. If you antagonize the whole region, you turn the whole region against you, everybody's bombing you, we'll shoot down the missiles. We'll deter aggression. We'll bribe your neighbors. If people try to sanction you, we'll sanction them. So what does Israel do? They engage in the riskiest behavior possible. They do things they otherwise would not do. Things they wouldn't be able to do. They cannot genocide Palestinians in Gaza on their own. Why not? One, they don't have the ability. They don't have the weapons to do it. Two, in a world without our aid, all of their neighbors would go to war with them. Egypt, Iran, Hezbollah, PMF, the Assad regime, Saudi Arabia, In a world without the United States, every country would sanction them, all their neighbors would go to war with them, they would rain missiles down upon them. The reason they don't is because we are deterring them from doing that. You see? So that is why I don't entertain that question. That is a rhetorical question. It is meant to create a logical chain. It's basically meant to trap you. It's meant to set you down a path that inexorably leads to the conclusion that Israel can do whatever it wants. If Israel has a right to exist, then it can do whatever the fuck it wants. That is where they want to take you with that. But it's a faulty premise. Does Israel have a right to exist? Well, theoretically, no country has a right to exist. And if they do, they have to exist alongside other nations. They have rights, they have obligations. They exist within a global community of other nations, and they have obligations. They have to respect the rights of other people. They have to respect the rights of other nations. They can't just do whatever they want. So yeah, they have right to defend themselves. Well, I'd say they defended themselves on October 7th. What they're doing now is not self-defense. Okay? So it's a bogus question. 6,271,000, I don't know. Honest to God, I really don't know. There's a very intense debate that goes on, and I don't really think that's the point. You know, to me, the point is not how many died. I think it was fewer than 6 million. I think it was maybe 4 million, maybe 3 million. That's just my gut. But there's a big rabbit hole. Trust me when I tell you this. There is an autistic community of revisionists. There's an equally autistic community of people that are not Jewish, that do not have a dog in the fight, but they really believe it happened. And there's a lot of scholarship to go through, and I haven't done that, and I honestly think it's a waste of time because it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are being indoctrinated about this myth. That's what matters. What matters is that there's a Holocaust museum in every city that is subsidized. What matters is that Holocaust awareness is mandated by law in education, with holidays. What matters is how it is used. So it could be 6 million. I really don't care. I mean, every death is a tragedy, and if it was 6 million, that's a horrific thing. I also don't think that it precludes us from having a white country. I also don't think it precludes us from having a strong executive or from criticizing Jews as an organized political force. So it could be 6 million, 10 million, 100 million. It could be 2,000. I really don't give a fuck. I don't feel guilty about it. I shouldn't be blackmailed about it, and it shouldn't cast a shadow over our politics. So it doesn't really matter, actually. See, this is the thing. You are some kind of operative. You're avoiding these questions because these are bullshit questions. This is a lesson to you, Goyim. Don't get hung up on stupid questions. You know, they try to take you to a place. It's sort of like when you get kidnapped at gunpoint. They try to take you to a second location where they can, like, rape you and kill you. Don't go to a second location. If a bad faith actor or a Jew puts a gun to your head and says, does Israel have a right to exist? Is it 6 million? Don't go with them to a second location. Isn't that what they always say? Never. If you get abducted, don't go to a second location. Because what are they going to do? They're going to tie you up. They're going to do some weird shit to you. You know, they're going to rape you. They're going to pour acid inside your skull. You know, they're going to do some fucked up shit. And then they're going to kill you and dismember you and dissolve your body in a vat of acid. Like, that's what they're going to do. And that is what Jews are doing. They're saying, does Israel have a right to exist? And if you say yes, it's like you're getting into the car with them and they're taking you to Israel. And then they're just going to beat you up and say, if Hamas attacked Israel, then they get to do whatever they want. If 6 million died, then don't let them do it. You just hit them with, well, do white people have a right to exist? Do white people have a right to defend themselves? How many white people died at the hands of Jewish communists? Who invented communism? A Jew. How many people did communism kill? Karl Marx invented communism. The Bolsheviks were mostly Jewish, and they created the Soviet Union, which backed all the communist revolutions. It was a stronghold. That was the source of a global revolution. So you hit him with another one right back. I mean, so who cares? Oh, so it's the 21st century. Why are we talking about this? Okay, some Jews died 80 years ago on another continent at the hands of a regime that we went to war with. So fucking what? Americans are dying now. Our countrymen are dying now. That happened in the past. People are dying now from abortion, fentanyl, crime. We have a fertility crisis. Let's talk about those problems. So, that's what I would say about that. The Hitler LARP is attractive. You don't get it, clearly.
Blake R said $20. It's demoralizing seeing all the hate you're getting on X. The IQ filter is strong. They don't see they're doing exactly what the JS want them to do. Tone police, performative outrage in pathetic manner, and wag.
Yeah, it is what it is. This happens every so often. But, there's a crowd that, look, I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. And the purpose of the show is to think about these things. The purpose of the show, I mean, look, I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. And I'm not looking to pass legislation here. I'm a talker. My job is to talk about these things and think about these things. And, people think that I do something else. People think that I'm in the business of reinforcing the party line. Like I'm here to be a cheerleader. I'm not a fucking cheerleader. I'm not here to get everybody gassed up. I'm not here to get everybody, make everybody feel good about the things they believe in. My job is to make you think. My job is to be thought-provoking. My job is to get to the truth. And, and I know that when people hear something they don't like, a lot of people freak out. The test of an intelligent person is whether they're able to entertain an idea that they don't agree with. And some people are incapable. Wait, I'm hearing something I don't like. I hate you. You're different now. So, fuck them.
I could be your grandma said $25. Hello, Mr. You could be my grandson. How many books do you read at a time? Are they actual books or electronic? Do you read in the bathroom? Do you read fiction?
Reading is overrated. I'll tell you that much. Reading is highly over. Everyone should read. People are always fixated on my reading habits. What do you read? How do you get that smart? Reading is overrated. It's not about filling your head with information and ideas. You need some of it, but what you really need to do is think. Okay? What you really need to do is think. You need to sit and think. You need to walk and think. You need to drive and think, eat and think. You need to be thinking. Most people are unthinking, uncritical, unexamined, and they go through their life. I don't even know what people's state of mind is. It's almost like they're just not even there. They're not chewing on it. They're not working through things, Me, I'm always thinking about something, and occasionally I have a moment where I go, aha. There it is, and you can't force it. But it's important to be able to think systematically. It's important to be able to kind of just ponder. And people are always caught up on reading, and that's so wrong. What do you read? Where are you getting this from? It's coming from here. It's coming from here. I look out at the world. I observe things. I talk to people. I think deeply about our interactions. I compare and contrast. So, people look at me like I'm reading 3 books at one time. I just never put the books down. I don't think I read probably more than your average person. I read the news every day. And I'm on Twitter all the time, and I talk to interesting people. But that's how you get information. I talk to people. I talk to interesting people. I go on social media. I read the news, and I think. And that's it. It's important to read. You should read a book every day. I mean, not like a whole book, but you should pick up a book at least, half hour, an hour a day. You should be subscribed to one of the papers of record: Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, New York Times. You should read the news every day. You should read a book every day, But You don't need to go crazy. Most people just aren't that smart. How many books do I read at a time? I mean, here's what I do lately is I pick up a book, I read about 50 pages, and then I put it down, and I never pick it up again. Then I pick up another book, I read 50, 100 pages, put it down, never pick it up again. I do it with PDFs and regular books. And I don't read fiction. So...
Andy sent $30.
Yeah,
Hey, Nick, I am the elite human capital you were talking about. Standing back and standing by, waiting for activation. You can always chat with me in the group chat. Have a great night.
Wow, sounds
London
great.
Gigachat sent $20. Loving the Iran analysis. Nick, the risk of Israel getting their war in this triggering broader regional civil conflict, and therefore major Arab refugee migration, is a terrifying prospect for Europe. We're flooded with unassimilated Muslims, and this would crush our demographic outlook. Praying Europe returns to Christ.
So they're not Arabs. So they're not Arabs in Iran, they are Persians. They're Persians, they're Turks, they're Kurds. They're not Arabs. Not a huge Arab population there. But I get your point, but just an important correction. But yeah, that's not really, I don't even really think that's the biggest issue at hand, actually. I mean, yeah, there would be a refugee crisis. I mean, I would assume they would actually be assimilated maybe somewhere else. But whatever, man.
Crashing on a 294 farmers sent $25. Another beautiful day in Wisconsin, otherwise known as the Promised Land. How was the smog today down there in the trenches? Thick or super thick?
There's not really a ton of smog in Chicago. Wisconsin's nice, though. I'll give it to you. Wisconsin's pretty nice.
We're in the swamp sent $100. I don't get how these low red pillars are so stupid. You see these growing brutal Nazi accounts made in 2025 to thank Fishback is a Fed because he doesn't say fuck the Jews and I hate African Americans. It's honestly so sad.
Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah.
London Gigachat sent $20. Yeah. Nigel Farage launched the Reformed Jewish Alliance this week, ironically only to be heckled by open borders and Jews. He's also pushing the Epstein Russian hoax with Tommy Robinson, who will bring Jerusalem Post propaganda. The mainstream British right-wing alternative has been subverted by Israel. Christ is king.
I predicted this. I told you. Everyone said I was crazy. You know, they said that the UK migrant riots changed everything because the people have had enough. How naive can you be?
Red Pill Media X sent $25. WN's when Bad Bunny does a Mexican halftime show. He's speaking Spanish. This is clearly anti-Y. WN's when Ye makes a song literally called Heil Hitler. Well, he's just a degenerate Negro. Turn that crap off. Like, okay, so you can never win with these people. Artistically challenged much.
Yeah, good point.
Radioactive Trash sent $100. Here you go.
Hey, thanks. Thank you for the big super chat.
Hey, bro, Everton
Thanks
sent
a lot.
$1. Hey, Nick. Hope you're having a good night. Thoughts on fascism?
I think it's based. I think it's
Young Boy sent
based.
$5.
I like it.
Well, I wanted to thank you. The Grow Eyebrows and Christine for all the prayers after several surgeries, radiation and ongoing treatments for recent CT/MRI scans. I'm looking
Good.
I remember when I sent a chat months ago, you said one of your parents went through radiation. Respected shits like hell. 07.
Not radiation, chemo. But, hey, I'm glad to hear that, man. Good for you. God bless.
Brad sent $20. Nick, you have inspired me to go back to college to study poli-sci and cyber, formerly an electrician. Thank you for the kick in the ass, man. Stopped overthinking it and just starting doing. Hopefully getting into DHS or FPS, and I'm excited to do my part for my country and for the love from you.
Good. Love to hear it, man. Love it. You know, nothing wrong with being an electrician, but if you want to get involved, degree, government, you know, that's the kind of stuff we need. So good for you, man. Love it. God bless.
13 cent $20. In 2026, you can use buy now, pay later for OnlyFans.
The absolute state. Right now, pay later for pizza? That's crazy. How much longer are we going to do that? The whole, what is the buy now, pay later? What is it called? Klarna? Klarna, DoorDash, we live in dystopia. Talk about late stage capitalism, we're doing Klarna for DoorDash. I'm voting for the giant meteor. I'm voting for the giant meteor that's going to destroy us all. Talking about late-stage capitalism, using Klarna for DoorDash. Holy shit, dude. Like, really? Is anybody really even doing
This
that?
769 sent $20. When are you going to go on the Sean Ryan show? That would be an awesome conversation.
I asked him. I don't know.
Orion Morales 085 on X sent $20. In furniture. My dog is nothing. It's an acorn. It's a toy. It has no sexual power. It deserves to be disfigured and demanded by strangers. I deserve my will. I deserve to have my weed stolen.
Okay. Thank
Sean
you
Vance
for
from
that.
sent $20. All of these retards are mixing in the chat every night.
That's great.
It's becoming insufferable. Are the people in the $100 per month chat higher IQ that is? Is there actual discourse between thinking human beings?
No. You'd be surprised. You would think that, but you're wrong. You would think that, you know, filter it by whoever has $100 to give to a group chat, you know, who cares enough, who's into the show enough. You'd be wrong. There's no escape. There's no escape. We live in hell. We live in normie hell. We live in normie idiot hell, and there's nowhere you can go to get away from it at all. You can charge people money. You can go somewhere else. Like, it doesn't matter. Everywhere you go, there they are.
Smiling Dirty 401 sent $30. There is no change in the plan.
Yep.
Gidgy 40.30 sent $20. Pocket square for the new suit.
No.
Unwoke reply sent $20. Harbinger.
What did I say? Harbinger? Harbinger? Is it Harbinger? Oh, Candace Owens moment. Is it really Harbinger? That's like I feel like it was always Harbinger. That's got to be a Mandela effect thing. That's like a Berenstain Bears thing. All right, maybe we're all a little Candace Owens
sent
days.
$20. Everyone in the Epstein files should be pardoned, because let's be real, they probably had some sexy-ass 16-year-olds.
All right, no, not funny. Hey, that's not funny.
Anti-matter pro sent $20.
We don't do those kinds of jokes on the show.
Sent $20.
That's not the kind of humor we do.
Like nails on a chalkboard. Her speechwriter literally writes like a middle schooler. Maybe she hired Candace.
She's just a dumb bitch.
Aussie Christian Rex sent $20. I am Kundasu and give me banana.
Dude, that nigga can't read. That nigga can't read for shit.
$20. Can't afford oh my god, drive a truck anymore.
Yeah, I love that song. Like, who's stopping you? I just want to cut my grass. Who the fuck is stopping you from cutting your grass? You can actually do that. The parts that you can't do are like anything political. And yeah, you know, you need to fight in politics actually. Like, I just want to cut the grass. You can cut the grass. I just want to catch the fish. You can catch fish. Then he goes, well, I just want to be able to say that men can't be women without getting canceled. Okay, well, that you need to fight for, okay? That you actually need to get involved in politics to achieve.
Red Admiral Fuckface sent $20. Women invented evil and treachery. Chapter 1 of the Bible, by the way, only thing they've ever invented.
Yeah, that is good to know, actually. That is good to remember. Excuse me, is that women were tempted first.
Lucy sent $100. Great show, looking good, keep it up. Don't let it super chat, Black Billion.
Thanks, thank you for the big super chat, you know. Everything black. I'm black-pilled by everything, okay? Super chats are just a kick in the balls. I'm black-pilled by everything. I'm black-pilled by life. And then super chats are just shoving my face. You know, that's what the super chats do. You know, super chats are just kicking me in the stomach while I'm down, gasping for air.
What the fuck?
I'm already black-pilled, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sent $20. Since you've got Portuguese roots, check out the YouTube channel Iberian History. It dives into Portuguese and Spanish history, culture, etc.
Oh yeah, I'll check that out. I do. According to 23andMe, I'm Portuguese. They updated it. I always thought, you know, I'm Mexican, so I'm like Spanish and indigenous. It says I'm 15% indigenous. I'm Ottoman. And 10% Portuguese. That's the 25% Mexican. So, I'm 50% Italian, 25% Irish, 10% native, or excuse me, 15% native, and 10% Portuguese, apparently. I had no idea. Go figure, so I'm not Spanish. Kind of a bummer. I wish I was Spanish and not Portuguese, honestly, but that's okay. That's my roots. That's who I am, you know, that's me. Yeah, I'll check it out. But they changed it. 23andMe used to say, like, broadly Southern European, then all of a sudden said Portuguese. I was like, wow. Interesting. So.
Zachary Gilsfish said $100. I went from a no-name school in PA to a postgraduate position at one of the most prestigious UK universities for advanced materials science. Younger grow-wipers and STEM, keep your heads down and just grind. We are brain maxing on top of looks maxing and ascending ultimately 26 on molecule. Free lap from the frame mogger ASU frat leader.
On molecule. Dude, the frame mogger is insane. I mean, no homo. You have to say that because otherwise people say you're gay. But holy shit, I mean, the guy looks incredible. Pause. But it's like, that's who we're up against, you know? What could I ever do? Some people are born tall, broad shoulders, muscular, and you're born a skinny, fat, incel, little chud. What are you supposed to do? Get rich, be funny, get smart? Doesn't matter. But it's fine. You know, but it's fine. but it's fine. You just have to not care. But I appreciate it. You just have to stop thinking about it. But thank you for the big super chat. Yeah. We're all ascending. The frame mogger is just totally insane. What do you do?
Diddy Sprinkles sent $50. What's the difference between Batman and a black man? Batman can go out at night without Robin.
Ugh.
Noah Wiley sent $25, very revealing that not only Trump's current commerce sec was involved with Epstein, but his previous one, Wilbur Ross, spent 25 years at Rothschild Bank and bailed Trump out of bankruptcy in the 80s.
Very true.
Rapist Werewolf sent $20. Have you tried being more white like clavicular and less Mexican?
Why would I try to do that? Mexicans are awesome. Have you ever noticed that Mexicans are winning? I don't know. Something to think about. Have you ever noticed that Mexicans are actually winning?
Yeah.
Breeding. Mexicans kill people, white people cry online. I'm just saying. While we're at it. You know, people are always trashing the Mexicans. Hey man, Mexicans will cut your head off. Mexicans are savage, bro. Aztecs? Fucking Aztecs, bro. They're cutting people's heads off. They're scalping people. Cartels are putting heads on pikes. White people are crying about how they can't cut the grass. Mexicans just cut the grass. White people write a song. I just want to cut my grass. You know, Mexicans just cut the grass. We don't do all that crying and carrying on. You know, Mexicans just go and fucking cut the grass. Okay, man, stop your belly aching. Let's just cut the grass, brother. Then we take a little nap under the tree. Then we tilt our sombrero, we take a little nap under the tree. We just cut the grass, man. Rose says, I just want to drive my truck and cut the grass. What do you think Mexicans do? That's all they do. Mexicans, all they do is drive their truck and cut the grass. The white people, why can't we do it? Just do it. It's easy. Get in the car, drive around, pick up the lawnmower. So W us. We just do it. Just do it, gringo. Just do it, SA. And Mexicans don't put up with the tranny stuff. We'll kick your ass. Rose said, I just want to drink beer and watch the game. Dude, Mexicans do all three in one day. Mexicans cut the grass, drink the beer, watch the game, then they go and crash their truck into a family of 5 and run away because they have no car insurance. Mexicans are next level. Can we just give it up for us Mexicans? Can we just have a moment of appreciation? Mexicans do not give a fuck. Mexicans get wasted, then they drive their truck, then they kill 8 people, and then they run away. Then they run away and they do it all over again the next day. White people cry, I can't do anything. I can't drive my truck. I can't drink my beer. I can't cut my grass. Yeah, you can. You can do anything. It's a video game, dude. We live in Los Santos. It's GTA. You can do anything. You can get drunk, crash your car, cut your grass, hug your dog, catch your fish. You don't have to be pro-trans. You can do whatever the fuck you want. White people are so inhibited. You know, white people are like, well, gee, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. You can do anything. There are no rules, I promise you. Look at Clavicular became more Mexican. Clavicular actually became more Mexican. He's just running people over. He just does whatever he wants. So, yeah. We all need to go hard. Mexicans need to go hard as fuck. Whites going hard as fuck. Niggas going hard as fuck. You don't need permission.
Stem Point sent $50. Freak laugh. He ain't deserved to be brutally mocked by the ASU frat leader. We look Mexican brain Mexican all 2026 until we ascend in that's on molecules.
So
also hate to kill all Sims.
So
John Day sent $1,000.
So
Nick, sorry for crashing out in the $100 GC. Can you add me back? I just felt like PPL were picking on and ganging up on me baselessly. I also had a really hard hour for some prior, so it was just a personal. Also, can you tell them to only be nice to me when, if, I come back? I mean, it is a really big donation. SO Brittany, plus BO. Don't know where I found them.
wow. Thank you for the huge super chat. John Dave Irving, my man. My man. Are you going to come through for us, John? I appreciate the huge super chat, buddy. God bless you. Woo! Thank you for the huge support. The goat of money. The goat of money and being rich. Very funny. He didn't actually get kicked out of the group chat. He's joking. Hey, you're invited anytime, my friend. Oh, just don't leak it to an e-girl. Just don't leak it to an e-girl this time, okay? There is one rule. Do not leak it to an e-girl in exchange for nudes. That's all I ask of you, my friend. Second chances, we can all have them. We just need to acknowledge the rules. But thank you very much. Whoa, thank you for the huge support. Old JDI, I knew you'd come through for us.
First donation, just to rewatch the Crowder debate. Man, did that below. When I first watched, I was damn, this was good. Now definitely been invested. Could have been something, but he shut that down at the half.
Which crowd? Me and him? We didn't really have a debate. We really have like a conversation.
It is one of us at $20. Gen Z not living down being the first American generation less intelligent than the preceding generation. Too tech lobotomized to laugh at how ridiculous you all sound. Please don't read.
That's just because they're brown fucking idiots. That's such a tell. Bro said, Gen Z is dumber because, whatever. Dude, Gen Z is dumber because it's half brown people, obviously. Oh, you didn't think about confounding variables? Got it.
Evelyn Roy said $25. Half. First time super chatter. Looks Max Math PhD old news with every serious white man I know disregarded both embarrassing moves and Hispanic halftime shows. If it were my call, the show would be Tchaikovsky with bombs and fighter jet slow. Gen Z white nats I know are successful, book smart, jacked, and many are grow eyebrows.
You sound like an insufferable idiot.
Evelyn Roy said $25. Two halves. Could you stop associating the white nat label with GOP chuds, defeatist old heads, and vulgar rebel? They are not an accurate representation of WN. Maybe we need a new label for elite Gen Z to disentangle from them. White secessionists. You ascend. Europeans ascend. America ascends. RKT4NJF. Thanks for the time.
Where do you find these people? Honestly, where do you find people that... It's so depressing that people like this exist. That they have these awful ideas and they think they're good and they tap you on the shoulder and say, hey man, I got a good idea for you. What if we called ourselves white ascensionists? And you go, yeah, great idea. This is why, maybe Goya were bred for this purpose, honestly. I don't know that it's exactly like this, but Jews are onto something with this whole idea that there's a tiny minority that have souls and the rest only look like human beings but are in fact animals here to serve an upper class. Like, Jews were definitely cooking with that idea. I don't know that it's Jews that are the ones that are ensouled, but like, it's definitely some kind of minority. Like, they were definitely cooking with that framework. Like, they have the framework correct. I just don't know if they have the details right.
I think I fucked up, homie. But it's fine.
If you're up to me,
That's what it is.
Tchaikovsky, that sounds like it would really fucking suck. And you sound like a faggot. You sound like an insufferable faggot. And your idea sucks. And I hate you. And if I met you in real life, I would have to grimace and fake laugh. And my face would hurt from forcing a smile to endure the interaction. Because you are nothing. Because you are goy. Because you are goy cattle. Goyim in abundance. I sometimes wonder how dumb these goyim actually can be. Said the Jew.
Ashton Forbes said $40. Our war drives more wholesome.
Said the
Did you really
Jew.
check into it? What do you think about Trump's discombobulator admission? Epstein set up Sante Institute right outside Los Alamos.
Yeah, I can't do nothing.
They found out how to manipulate space-time, aka gravity, with fusion bomb.
I'm
I
fucked in
think
the
that's
ass.
this guy again. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. This guy's like obsessed with the idea that Malaysian Airlines flight was teleported through a wormhole, and he's like really serious about it. Check out his timeline. It's an interesting video. This guy Ashton Forbes believes that the Malaysian Airlines flight that went missing was teleported to another dimension through a wormhole using like secret technology the government has. That just, yeah, I don't buy that. It just sounds crazy. Sorry. Honestly, there's really nothing you could tell me that would get me to believe that. They found out how to manipulate space-time, and they used it on a fucking plane. Why would they use it on, like, I don't know, an apple? Like, why would they disappear a fucking jet line. Like, you invent space-time manipulation technology. Should we throw an apple through the portal? Should we throw a house through the portal? No. Let's open up a portal in the middle of the sky and disappear a Malaysian Airlines flight with 200 people on board. Like, okay.
The Nuts at $26.
I guess, bro.
The Nuts at $26. Love the show, smile.
Thank you.
Denny Sprinkles at $20. Look, Emma always loves when I show him your millennial rants. In great joy every time you call them faggots. Says this guy is pretty hardcore. Well, doggone it. Maybe there's some hope.
That sounds like a fake quote.
Noisy 95 cent $20.
Disney Channel ass grandpa.
Noisy 95 cent $20. Thanks, Nick. It's spiritual conscious. Been unleashing power on some TikTok live debates. Holy moly, extra red pill. These left-wing blacks and women actually despise white men there.
Based.
1,999,991,721 cent $100. Hey Nick, you're the man. I'm 25. I was planning on leaving my job to start my own company. My employer just offered me $450,000 to stay. Is working for yourself worth it or take the money?
Thank you for the big super chat. Crazy humble brag. It's up to you. I mean, I have no idea what your situation is. It depends on your lifestyle. Me, I don't think I could work for anybody because I can't do anything on time and I'm unreliable and I just have a lot of problems, okay? Like, I'm a dysfunctional person, but, it's not for everybody. Some people like the predictability, the routine. They like not having the responsibility, the risk. And for some people, having a job is really great. And for other people, they can do nothing other than, be an entrepreneur. So it's kind of up to you.
Playboy sent $20. I'll send you an autographed copy of my mixtape. Here's a sample. Red wine in June. Every state blue. That's the world they want from me into. Airday 408 sent $20. The integrator that was to go to anger management classes. Be collaborator that goes viral on charges. Drop Kate Street threat for being in jail for a day. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
Right, yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. They imprisoned him for committing crimes that he did on a live stream. He committed crimes on a live stream. They imprisoned him. Oh, sorry for the inconvenience, sir. You're free to go. And here's another $500,000.
And I sent $20. I forgot how fun of a game Simpson hit and run was.
Yeah?
Ash sent $20. You're probably a spring, Skiddo, which is why your new suits work so well. Gonna grow
Really?
a mustache for mustache rides.
Okay, gross. That shit is disgusting. I don't know how you faggots do that. I don't know how you people do that. I'm so disgusted by all that. Am I a spring? Someone do my color palettes. What do they call that? Someone tell me what color I am. I need a hair.
Peter Monk sent $300. Imagine getting rated out of an anonymous group chat of retards.
I know, it's crazy. Thank you for the huge super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Couldn't be me.
Owen Benjamin, fuck you guys.
I cannot be raised,
Military Hill person sent $21. I cannot believe you haven't discovered your biggest seating ankle miter yet. Verifiable crusader on every thumbnail is debugging Nick on race, immigration, etc. Barely 700 subs. It's sad because a lot of these debate brothers like Dean, Destiny, Parker, etc. They believe if they win a debate, that means their worldview is true.
I don't even know who you're talking
832
about.
sent $100. Keep the change.
Thank you for the big super chat.
Globalism sent $20. Both halftime shows were fake. Gay, anti-white, anti-American. Kind of like both political parties. Hashtag rigged.
I like the Spanish
Raz sent
one.
$50 on Fire Tonight. I've been telling my niggas for years that they literally only get hoes because they're 6 feet and black gold. We just gotta get bread. Appreciate the good work. Wang.
Oh yeah, get that
Tom
bread.
20K
Get
sent
that
$20.
paper.
I get the impression that most of the plan trusters are being driven by nothing other than nostalgia for 2016-18, especially considering most of them are much older now and the realization that it's all going to end like this might just be too blackmailing for them.
I agree.
Thanks at $40. I saw a post today that the Hodge twins shared a tweet that said Trump played it again, and went on to list Trump's 5-step plan and implies that somehow devs are the losers of this 5D chess game that delusional people still believe Trump is playing. They're still trusting the plan after 10 years of disappointment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not globalism sent $20. Necessary conclusion read. Epstein's investigations, arrests, and ending relations with Israel at a minimum. Hashtag justice.
Yep.
Average John 93 sent $100. Easy on the brain, super 10. Love the show.
Thank you for the big
On
super
growing man sent
chat.
$20.
Beautiful.
Being in college right now is wild. When people learn no liberal feminists, they flip their shit. They assume young women like myself are far left automatically. The propaganda I've seen is wild AF.
Holy pick me. Yeah, you're crazy.
I don't ever sent $25. Bro,
So
every restaurant
base.
just sounds like MC Kava. Observe the box, circle the box, eat from the box, eat the box, escape the box. 26, 26, 26.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, well, it's just kind of like, I went to Bona Beef earlier today for an example, and I got a couple hot dogs, and they're just like wrapped up in foil in a bag. And I take them out of the bag, and it's just kind of depressing. Like, I want a box, right? A box is like exciting. Open up the box, and they're displayed beautifully, self-contained. Container. Container is a metaphysical concept. Container is a metaphysical concept. We must first create a space. Okay, there's a word for this. We first must create that is step number one. We must create a space. And only then can creation occur within it. Okay, and there is a container for things. And burgers have to be contained in things. Hot dogs have to be contained in things. Ideally in boxes with form and structure.
Love Cabbage sent $20. What is your take on Trump possibly being one of the 6 names?
So yes, we are going to create like a, Q burger combo.
Can't handle the heat, my friend. Okay.
We're going to create an esoteric burger stand. We're going to create an esoteric burger shack. The burger will be imprisoned inside of creation. That's good. That's a good riff. What's my take on Trump being one of the names? I think that's retarded.
Sunava sent $20. Wrote Connor read the 6 names on the House floor.
Oh, really? I didn't see
Jesus
that.
Funny for 6769 sent $20. Content drop thanks to Larry Ellison. I missed the Chinese TikTok. That's where I first found you.
Yeah.
There's a clip of you getting hyped about a guy bringing up dancing Israelis at a Charlie Kirk event.
Yeah.
I'll go through 100% $20.
True.
Hey Dick, big fan and I really appreciate what you do. Pam Bondi was compromised from the start when she supported red flag laws and supported prosecuting George Zimmerman as Florida AG. Dumb bitch.
Dumb bitch.
Marshak has sent $50. As a kid from the sticks, I 100% agree on your take about country music being whiny and defeatist. I eat who's a halftime show. When I visit my grandpa's ranch, his old country was about gunfights and telling women who was TFU. Believe me when I say you lived it. Men like him is what made me like your show. We need to make white men terrifying again.
Yeah, awesome. So
Neil said $100. Even Susie Wiles said Trump was acting like a delusional alcoholic in Vanity Fair a couple of months ago. I remember when Trump actually lost a good deal of his net worth in the first term. Now he's enjoying about a $6 billion net worth. Trump 2.0 is a scam.
Yeah.
Someone needs to break the pendulum at 28.
So true. Thank you for the big super chat. Very true.
Seems like Amy Dangerfield is easily the most influential woman in the AF space right now. She's been getting a lot more attention recently than others with similar views. What do you think explains the rise in influence, other than the fact that she's naturally gorgeous?
Okay, buy an ad.
$30.
Buy an ad.
Fan. It seems like everyone lied about you on social media. I subscribe to AF Plus after your F's not taken. Concise messaging seems hard to misconstrue, but they do.
It's just like a combination of bad faith actors and idiots. People hate me, so they try to make me look bad, and then idiots don't know any better. But if you watch the show, it's all very consistent and true.
Maybe 123 sent $20. First super chat. I'm from New Zealand and I enjoy your show. I feel like no one else is talking about the demographic replacement of whites beside you. If you ever come to power by New Zealand. Big Dick Randy 1998 sent $20. 1.0 The CK assassination.
You said calm down.
Was launched in his
All
because
you
it
do
was most likely an
is
open
calm down.
support round and a text card to it. When powder can drop FPS by hundreds and cause a round to drop several inches at the range as well. Grandpa's guy.
Interesting.
380 sent $20. Hey Dick, any tips for going mixing? I'm in a run or two from NY and I need to shed it ASAP. 24 problems sent $20. My friends and I love Bishop since sophomore year. One's headed to Tulane, another to Columbia's business school. The rest of us are still waiting, but Roeimers are sneaking into the institutions.
Love it. Good for you, man. Great schools. Love Columbia. Love Tulane. Good for you, man. God bless. Graduating high school, huh? Wow, what a special time. Oh, yeah, well, hey, man, enjoy. Enjoy your journey. Don't grow up too fast, all right, son? All right, sonny boy. Where does the time go? I'm coming up on my 10-year high school reunion. 10 years ago. Where does the time go? It goes by real quick, don't it? Yes, it does. Well, hey, enjoy, buddy. I'm glad you got your whole life ahead of you. God bless.
Sent $30. We can't afford another Democrat election win. We are the point of no return. Look at the UK, France, Spain, Germany with their immigrant numbers. We're in the chapter of having to pass the SAFE Act. Everything else doesn't matter in the moment. Like you said, the Epstein issue isn't going away.
Not really sure where we're going with that.
Alex Pacheco sent $20. Who's cute as Herman?
Okay, please. I am a hermit, though. I know it's hard to believe. Because I'm good looking, but I am a hermit. I'm hated. People have contempt for me. Disdain. I'm hated, reviled. Graveyard of failed relationships. I'm Taylor Swift. I'm the anti-hero. When I hear that song, I just relate to it so hard. So yes, I'm forced into a self-imposed exile. I am the hermit. Don't try to make me feel better. It is what
Russian
it
Gator
is.
sent $20.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Russian Gator sent $20. A friend of mine's dad is a cop in the broader Minneapolis area. Since that I suspect that our son even recently got 17. Maybe still getting all illegals, or could just be the little person in charge ignoring the orders.
A whole 17? No, well, don't get them all out all at once. That's bullshit.
Dante Cross sent $20. Shout out to Sam Hyde for red-filling me back in 2016 on the Juicebox/Boulder sketch level. Found your stuff from his retweets. We'd love to see more collaborations with him and Devin. All Patreons go.
Okay, good to know. Well, we love Sam Hyde. He is one of the greats. My man, I love Sam. Great guy. He red-pilled me years ago.
Snowden Rover sent $20. Curious
Go.
what you think of Governor Cox's Utah platform of disagree better. Is now the time for that?
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good.
Prospective artists sent $20. The right-handed dominance over the arts to the left on a silver platter when they told all of their kids to go be engineers instead of creatives. Now we're stuck with gay-ass Kid Rock.
Hot take.
John Bridgeford Hunt sent $1,000. Dick.
Whoa!
I believe it is my destiny to become the American autocrat, but I need a little help getting there. I know that it's crazy to say. However, I believe I have these requisites: unmatched zeal, unmatched dedication, fierce intelligence, and a cool soul. I do not want to see myself as the president, but neither do I want to live in a world that's going if no one fixes the problems. Can you check out my video?
Now, what does a totally insane person like you do to get $1,000 to spend on this show? That's my question. What is a totally delusional person? I guess there's a lot of delusional people with money. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be America's autocrat, but I have nowhere to start other than to super chat this internet show. Okay, well, the link didn't even work. I hope that wasn't like a phishing link or something, because I just clicked on it. But thank you for the huge super chat. Bro didn't even send the right link. Well, we're not off to a great start for the autocracy. Not a $1,000 got the link wrong. Not off to, I gotta say, we are not off to a great start. Unless that was just a phishing link and I'm an idiot. But it doesn't look like it because I'm on YouTube, so. I thank you for the massive super chat, I guess, but, you know, that just sounds totally insane.
Jack Jenny sent $20. Doing ROTC and getting my international relations degree.
But I do appreciate the money. I mean, I appreciate the support, but the message is totally insane.
Jack Jenny sent $20. Doing ROTC and getting my international relations degree at NYC. God bless. Thank you for everything. Also, can you make a white USA quarters hit?
I can't know if I could go that
Lloyd Joy sent $20. Got my CCW printed today in LA, and I was the only one in the whole class, including the teacher, without a tiny hat. They're legally arming themselves in droves out here. Pretty alarming. 07.
Yikes.
God,
Yeah,
Obama sent
arm
$20.
yourselves.
Year-old America first. What the media Democrat/Republican all-star lineup for the next election?
What does that even mean? What are you talking
Shavery sent $20. So you want to open up a modular burger place to enjoy a good burger, but you think experimenting with red onions is okay on a burger? I enjoyed Laura Limmer eating dog food before eating that slop.
Yeah, burger, you can just do
Brent
things.
4547 sent $20. The turkey ball had me rolling last night. Appreciate the humor, me boy. God bless.
You guys are so easy. You're like babies. But what else would have you rolling? Peekaboo? What if I concealed my face and then made a funny expression? Would that have you rolling too? You people are literally like children. Toy ball! That's a good one! It's only the dumbest, most like obvious construction. That had me laughing. What if I made a funny face? Would that be funny too? I was dying when you made that expression. Then he covered his face, then he sewed it again, and he was still there.
Sent $20. Pick up the fork. It's easier to go from skinny to build than fat to cut. Once I lost the fat, I was just skinny. I'm 6 feet 0 inches, 215, but abs now I have blonde hair and blue eyes, FYI. My jawline is better.
Congrats.
Fishing sent $20. Just do it, bring your shirt coming.
That, okay. Oh my god.
If she sent $20, I'm quite laughing right now. Good show. Smile.
I'm
Oh,
so
Kentucky
happy.
that I slowly schizophrenic SSR Island proletarian hill person sent $21. Dude, you were crying over that handsome white kid dressed up as an SS officer on Halloween. Now you're seating overseeing hill people chuds. Mexicans are subhuman. The least creative people. You're a fucking nigga, African American.
You're literally the one seething. Also, yeah, white people gotta get it together. Starts with a little honesty. White people gotta get it together. Niggas be like, I'm gonna dress up like a Nazi on Halloween. That'll do something. Get your money up, retard. Stop being
Now,
broke.
first banker sent $200. I work for a top-5 bank. The banking and not being able to open accounts for administration affiliates is a reality. These Jews were offended by the quarters into the office. Happy Bibi Nami.
Thank you for the big super chat. Good for you, W Bank. W Banking.
EG Grills sent $20. Bought my America First ham yesterday and then shipped it today. Love the speedy work.
Epic. See, that's where
Echo
we
Radio
are.
sent $20. Portuguese are explorers and pioneers. God bless.
So true.
Reese's sent $20. What's your opinion on selective grading for increased IQ or night?
I support it.
Larry Silverstein is a piece of shit devil cunt sent $20. Roadrunner and Thomas Massey, let's fucking go. Ham on by God fuck. We need to just wipe out everybody in the House and Senate and let these highback Israeli Larry Silverstein evil doctors that only care about their own fucking people out of our White House. George Washington, we about to murder the Israelites.
Yeah, I agree.
Those structural sent $20. As part Mexican, I can assure you we have sayings in Spanish that translate over to don't be a Jew or 41 for gay. My mom used to say don't be a Jew whenever I would spit on the floor or was not sharing, and if my hair was too long, I would get pulled 41 by grandparents. Also, is Klaus Stone or P. Peter Thiel?
No, I don't think so.
Basement Dweller sent $20. Of all the groups that whites should keep a good relationship with, it is Latinos. Every other race are either snakes, degenerates, or pussies. Some are all three.
We are your closest ally, okay? We really are.
Purple Master sent $30. You may claim the Mexican heritage when you always want the white man's burger. Where did it lead you back to burger?
You guys don't own ground beef. You guys like tacos, okay?
Larry Silverstein is a piece of shit devil cunt sent $20. Nick, listen bro, here's what we going to do. You, me, Owen Schreier,
Okay.
Seco, Deadless Ryan, Jake Shields. Let's all hang out at NY and start the fucking movement. Let's go. La la la. Let's go to the Trump Hotel and protest at Han Yang U.S. Plus, you want to kill more innocent Middle Eastern sexy women.
All right. This is
Stone
so
sent $20. Last night you asked about moderate contrarianism. I mean, you were a political failure. It now aligns you with subversive lunatics in the eyes of the masses on the nuances. Owen Benjamin, fuck you guys, slowly schizophrenic SSR Island. They're sent $20. If they made Fallout Chicago, what would your favorite post-apocalyptic location be?
Oh my gosh.
John Day Irving sent $1,000. I'm not dealing with you.
Well, and another one, just for the joke, just for the fun of it. Thank you for the huge super chat. Was that John Dave Irving? Was John Bridgeford Hunt? Just a different name for John Dave Irving. Thank you for the huge super chat. Another one. Wow. God bless, man. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah, you're right.
Thoughts on the TV?
You're right. You're totally not
Real
delusional.
Wang sent $20. Thoughts on the TV show The Chosen? Love from the Army.
Seems stupid. I tried watching it, didn't like it.
Basic Josh sent $20. True Silver Color Palette since you smile.
What? I don't. Okay.
Calderly sent $20. Fuck the clav haters. Keep doing the laps with clav. God bless. Love the show.
So, dude, every clav hater can fucking choke. Okay. I will meet ride. Pause. Yeah, no. Clav hating is just not allowed. If you are hating on clav, you just don't get it. You're a fucking faggot. So. Okay, alright. That's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. It's a long show. That's all I got for you. Remember to smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm on the air Monday through Friday. Earlier, going to try to be early from now on, like 9:30. Thank you to our top super chatters tonight. Special thanks to John Dave Irving, John Bridgeford Hunt, Peter Mogg, America First Banker, Coastside, Stembroid, Willie Nail, 1999, Abolitionist of Abortion, Francesco, Sean Connery, Groyper Swamp, Radioactive, Little Wade, Ape, and Average John. Thanks to them. Thanks to all our super chatters, everybody that watches. We love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your evening.
Americanism and globalism will be our deal. It's going to be only America first. America first. The American people will come first once again. Respect and respect that we deserve. It's going to be
The fuck? How'd you not blow that shit up? What the fuck is that? What is that in my fucking map? Yo. That's some tanky ass shit.
Like he's looking for. And they said,
It's going to be only America first. America first. The American people will come first once again.
Oh, I told you. What it is, what can you fucking do?
good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. It's actually a super slow day. Very slow news day. Very slow week. But that's okay. We have a good show. Our featured story, we are talking all about this Pam Bondi hearing today in the Senate. What is that all about? This is like the worst defense from a politician I have ever seen in my entire life. It's just like a joke. And maybe you've seen the clip already. It went viral on social media. Pam Bondi goes to a hearing in the Senate. She's interrogated about the Jeffrey Epstein files. Or pardon me, this is in the House. She is interrogated over the Jeffrey Epstein files, and they're asking her about the victims, and are you going to unredact the rest of the files, and are you going to investigate any of these people? And she's talking about the stock market. She's doing this like ham-handed Trump thing where she's trying to insult the people asking the questions, trying to do the most transparent and obvious and clumsy pivot I've ever seen in my life. They're saying, hey, release the files. She's like, you're a loser. You're a never-Trumper. What about the stock market? Bitch. And know what's amazing about this? You know that she was coached by Trump to do this. That's the worst part. Because I know how Trump operates, and I know how he thinks, and I know his MO. And you know that before she went into this hearing, they had a huddle, and they knew this was coming. They knew they were going to be asked about the files, and I'm sure Trump told her, you know, you got to talk about the stock market. You got to flip the script. You got to Frame it in a different way. Talk about all the other successes. Because that's the playbook. Am I wrong? That is every Truth Social post. That's every rally. That's every press pool. Whenever Trump gets in trouble, whenever he's asked to explain himself, you always get the 30-minute monologue about the most successful administration in history and the job numbers and the border and blah, blah. So you know that they were going into that, and that was the playbook. And she was going to play the Trump card. But you know what? It's not working anymore. It doesn't work in the face of this Jeffrey Epstein scandal. We'll talk about why that is, because I think it says something actually pretty salient. It says something pretty profound about the entire MAGA movement. There's some sense of closure. We're sort of returning, in the end, to where we started in the beginning. It's kind of symbolic. And we'll talk about that. That'll be our featured story. Related to that, we're also going to talk about Howard Lutnick. We were going to cover this last night. As you know, Howard Lutnick is named many times in the Epstein files, in the files that were released 2 weeks ago. And one of the major revelations from the files, and there's not many, as we've been talking about, there isn't really a big smoking gun in the middle of the files. But one of the things that we have learned is that Howard Lutnick was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. And more than that, he lied about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Howard Lutnick has maintained for over a decade that although he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein in the first half of the 2000s decade, after Jeffrey Epstein was charged and convicted for sex trafficking, he cut off contact with Epstein. And he has maintained that is his story, that's his alibi, for over a decade. Well, we've now found out from the files that that's a lie. Not true. Howard Lutnick maintained a friendship with Epstein long after Epstein was charged, convicted, served his sentence. And actually, Howard Lutnick brought his entire family to the Epstein Island with his kids. And this is in the emails. He lied. For those that don't know, Howard Lutnick is the Commerce Secretary. He is deeply involved in U.S. diplomacy in the Middle East, with China, with all these other countries. There's extraordinary pressure on him to step down, but the White House is standing by him. They're not going to fire him. And I said this on Twitter today. I said it last night. This Epstein scandal is an albatross. It is a mortal wound. Trump has to do something about this. And I'm barely rooting for Trump anymore. Honestly, I'm over it. But if you're Trump, if you're the Republicans, and you want to make it to 2026, you want to make it to 2028, you want to salvage what's left of the second term, they have to confront this head on. And the only way to do that, they got to fire Howard Lutnick. They got to go after Les Wexner. They got to release the rest of the files. It's not going away. It's not going anywhere. And I don't know what they're thinking. They tried to cover it up last year in a number of different ways. We've gone through that timeline. They tried to fake out with the binders, and then they tried to just make everybody forget about it, and then they lied about it, then they put out the memo, they tried to bury it. They shut down Congress to prevent Congress from forcing their hand. They tried everything last year. And this issue almost single-handedly destroyed Trump's support among the younger demographic. 18 to 25s, the 25s to 29s, he is hemorrhaging support with them almost exclusively because of this. It is devouring everything. It is eating up all the attention. At the minimum, politically speaking, for Trump, it's a diversion from his agenda. I'm saying politically from his point of view. And they think that they are just going to ignore this. They think that they're just going to stick and move, and that eventually people are going to forget about it, but they're not. Nobody is going to forget about this. Nobody is going to move on. It's not going away. It needs to be confronted. It needs to be dealt with. and I'm saying this politically for the sake of Trump, but, also for the sake of our country, too. There needs to be some reconciliation here. And if there isn't, it is just going to keep consuming everybody's attention and consuming the news cycle until the midterms. And then after the midterms, the Democrats will raise it again in 2027. And you don't want that, because then it is going to go straight into the 2028 election. The Democrats are going to raise this. They're going to use their subpoena power. They're going to use the committees. And they're going to blow this up in 27, and you will be dealing with it in the next presidential election if you don't nip it in the bud right now. So it's a very bad situation for Trump. I've had a lot of conversations with Alex Jones about this. Every time we talk about it, he says, so what do we do? Is this the end? How is Trump going to get back on the ball, get back ahead of the 8 ball, or whatever the expression is? And I keep telling him, I don't think it's going to happen. Trump is too stubborn. He's not really willing to do what is required here. And look, it's February 2026. We're in the middle of February. This is still a big deal. This started in July. It is February, and there is no sign of this stopping anytime soon. It's still here. So we'll talk about all that. Once again, we're getting back into the files. Before we get into the news, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Check out our store, Fuentes.store. We got our hoodies, shirts, hats, quarter zips, buttons, pins. All kinds of great stuff. It's all on the store, Fuentes.store. Subscribe to our website for the America First Plus membership. If you're a super fan of the show, you love the content, you want to support us, you want more, you got to become a Plus member. Don't just be a regular subscriber. Be a Plus subscriber. The show is free, but if you want access to the entire archive of every show that I've ever done and every other piece of content, interview, debate, speech, commentary stream, it's all on the website, AmericaFirst.plus for $15 a month. $100 a month, you get to be in a group chat with me. I was hanging out in there today, answering questions, chilling with the niggas, and one guy crashed out and left. Imagine that. We're in the $100 a month group chat. I pop in there, I'm hanging out, and there's this guy, and he's being super fucking annoying. And everybody's just giving him a hard time. And he goes, fine, I'll just leave the group chat. And he just left. Bro, you paid $100 to be there and you got bullied out. Imagine psyching yourself out that hard. You're paying to be there. Bro paid to be in the group chat, then got mad because of words on a screen. It's pixels on a screen. It's words on the internet. It's not real. You could turn your phone off, crashed out and left. I was like, get a load of this guy. Who does that? Anyway, but that's how it is. I mean, look, the group chat is a little intense. It's really me, and I'm really in there, and I'm really like that. And, so it's like a real experience. This is not like Disney World, where you get your Mickey Mouse hat and your Mickey Mouse ice cream, and it's the happiest place on earth. Sometimes it's the ugliest place on earth. Sometimes you don't want to be that guy in the group chat, So I think that makes it exciting. I think that adds, and that's what really you're paying for, is the authenticity. That's really what you're paying for. You're getting the whole experience. So, that's just a little warning label. Caution, you're entering the no-spin zone. I'm not even necessarily going to be nice, There's no spin here. It's a no-spin newsroom. Anyway, that's America First Plus. Check it out. What else? Oh, did you see this? Okay, now this actually pisses me off. So as you all know, Clavicular, my friend, goes to Arizona this past week and first of all gets mogged to death, frame mogged to death by some specimen from Arizona State. At Arizona State, that's just what average looks like, I guess. You go to Arizona State, every bop in the country is there. And I guess that's just, they're just growing them on trees like that. Everybody's looks maxed. Everybody's genetics maxed, you know. There's no peptide for that. There's no fucking peptide. There's no hormones. There's no bone smashing. They're just born like that. They're just born better. Okay? They got the genetics peptide. They got their dad is rich, so their mom is hot, and now they look like a god. They look like a Greek god, and that's just genetics. And that's life. You know, life is not fair. So Clavicular goes to Arizona State. He gets mogged to death by some random guy. But here's the part that irritates me. He gets arrested and thrown in jail. You see this? He caught 2 felonies and a misdemeanor because he was using a fake ID. He had drugs on him, and there was something else, I forget. But he got, like, pretty serious trouble. They threw him in jail. He was in jail for a couple days. He was facing, like, 8 years in prison. It's a big deal, kind of. And I was worried about him. I felt bad. But I also felt somewhat vindicated because I warned him. I said, look, like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful out there. You know, you're running people over with your car. You're pointing your gun at people. You're, you know, beating people up. Like, eventually, I don't know. I mean, these things happen. So I felt a little bit vindicated, but also I thought, this is terrible. So get a load of this. Today, we find out the judge has dropped all the charges. What? Why? He was on a live stream. He had drugs and a fake ID on a live stream. And you dropped the charges? Why? They said, well, we didn't know that we could convict him. We didn't think we could convict him. Couldn't convict him. He did it live. He had Adderall and a fake ID in a bar as a 19, 20-year-old, and he was live, and you couldn't convict him? And the charges just went away. The charges just went away. They're just gone. He called up, he lawyer maxed. He called up the best lawyer in New York. The lawyer picked up the phone. They dropped the charges. He's on his way home. And that's when you realize Clavicular was right about everything. I was wrong. He was right. Because here I am. Look at me. Look at my jester life. Here I am talking about politics and, like, the Middle East and Jews and religion. And they ruined my life. I got put on a no-fly list. I got my money taken. I'm banned from everything like an idiot. This guy dedicated himself to just being handsome. He just dedicated his life to getting better looking, and now he has no problems. Gets better looking, instantly becomes famous. 1 second later, becomes super rich. 1 second later, literally above the law. It happened that quickly. It's like we hung out in July and he wasn't that good looking. Then he got better looking in August. Immediately became the world's most famous streamer. Then became rich about a day after that. Now, immune from laws. Above the law, can do whatever he wants, run people over with your car. Why not? Go into a bar at age 20, no one gives a shit. Drugs, caught with drugs by the cops, fake ID, you know, it doesn't matter. So who's the idiot? Who's the idiot doing politics? Who's the dumbass with the big button? America first. I'm a boy, but America first. I'm a college Republican. We were wrong. Well, what have we been doing? You know, it's at a certain point, we just have to admit we have a problem. At a certain point, we have to admit that we were wrong. And maybe we just all need to get on drugs. Maybe we all just need to do drugs, get better looking. If you're short, just kill yourself, I guess. You're either getting your height extension surgery or you should just kill yourself. Unless you like being a street sweeper, unless you like cleaning toilets and being a subhuman. I don't know. If you're over 6 feet tall, it's available to you. If you're white, or one of the, better brown races, like if you're Indian, not going to make it. If you're one of these, like, deep black, not going to make it. If you're too Asian looking, not going to make it. But if you're maybe, I don't know, if you're sort of like white, off-white, over 6 feet tall, it is available to you. We have technology. You could just become as good-looking as possible, and all of this can be yours. All of this can be no problems. You can walk right into Congress. You can walk right into the White House. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to, because it's just like you're rich, you're famous, women throw themselves at you, you get thrown in jail. It's like in SpongeBob when they stole the balloon on Free Balloon Day. That's clavicular. All right, you're thrown in jail. Okay, you're free to go. Crazy. Look at me. I had to pay $250,000. I didn't even get charged with anything to get rid of my legal problems. I get charged for battery because someone came to my house trying to fuck with me. I'm in this never-ending legal battle. He's right.
What the?
Chad does what Chad wants. The laws don't even apply. Chad does what Chad wants. Peter Thiel is giving him millions of dollars. He's going to the Peter Thiel. That's a joke. Obviously, it's not true. Peter Thiel's giving him billions of dollars. Freed from prison. What are we doing? And what the fuck are we doing? Going to our jobs? Going to our live stream show about politics? Hey guys, let's talk about politics tonight and get no bitches. Hey, fucking losers and nerds, let's all talk about politics and get no bitches and be broke. And drive the speed limit. Like a fucking loser. Fucking nerd. Boiling with hatred and anger. I feel like Egg White. What's his name? Eggy? I feel like Eggy. Anyway. So that's that. I also have to say, here's one other thing about the whole clavicular. So I'm just joking, obviously, a little bit. There's some truth to that. Honestly, I've been saying this. We need to ascend. We need to become the elite. We need to books max. You need to looks max. That's my contribution. Looks max and books max. You gotta improve the looks. You gotta hit the books. If you're under 6 feet tall, commit suicide immediately. That's just how I feel, okay? That's my struggle. I'm working on being okay with it. I just feel like it's over for me because, here's the thing that Braden doesn't understand. He was already 6 feet tall. For us little niggas out here, it's been over for a minute. It's been over for a minute, let's be honest. We have to move to a country where the average height is just lower. Anyway, and even then, you're dealing with passport bros and whatever. I've been saying it, though. You need to looks max, books max, money max. You gotta level up. That's the answer. Level up. Get in touch with reality, okay? Level up. If you're looking in the mirror and you look like a fucking chud, you gotta get it together. Okay? No fatties, no uglies, get a fucking haircut, get clothes that fit. I used to say this all the time, and I stopped saying it for a little while. Now we need like a little reminder. All my political chuds, it's time to face reality. Do you own a mirror? Get in front of a mirror and figure it out. Lose some weight, get a haircut. I don't encourage the use of peptides, but in extraordinary circumstances, it might be necessary. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about this clavicular situation, somebody needs to kill all millennials, like, immediately. Does anyone else feel like this? Because this clavicular thing, like, it's actually very good content. It's actually very funny. and it's like good stuff. It's very Tino. And then I see the millennials. Have you seen this on Twitter? Like everything else, now millennials have taken it, and they are so amused with themselves. Every millennial faggot fucking idiot.
Oh, I
stupid
forgot.
Bitch
Wait a
is
minute.
on Twitter saying, "Oh, I'm coffee maxing.
Yeah, I did use it in the shower. The fuck up.
By my mug max."
Did I?
And it's like,
Yeah,
who
I think
invited
so.
these fucking people?
Oof.
You know? It reminds me of, do you remember
Jesus Christ,
years
dude.
ago when every millennial was saying, like, no cap, for real? They would post, like, the broccoli head zoomer, and they would say, no cap, that's busted, for real. Remember on Saturday Night Live when Elon Musk did that sketch where they're at the hospital and they just kept saying, for real?
Hey,
I'm getting, like, deja vu from that kind of thing. Like, they just can't handle it. Every tweet that I see on X, it's all like older millennials and Gen Xers that just cannot handle this. And every tweet is like, I X mods, blah, blah. It's just gratuitous. And it's all these, like, old faggots that are, like, tech bros. It's all like, who is the guy on my Telegram channel?
it's not going away now.
Posted this on Telegram.
Change your name to Corey.
I'll actually read it to you. It was this guy. It was Autism Capital. It was so disgusting. Autism Capital was like an older millennial retard. He says, popular internet streamer Clavicular's 2 felonies and misdemeanor were dropped. He lawyer mogged the judicial system. Proof when you're attractive enough, you can freedom max. Like, they literally just can't handle it. And they go to their wine parties. Millennials are playing Settlers of Catan with their girlfriends, drinking wine, and they're giggling about this shit.
Settlers of Catan?
Some girl at that Settlers of Catan board game party is saying, I can't believe that I understood every word you just said. I need to touch grass. Sorry. If you don't know already what I'm talking about, I'm sorry for sharing. But there's this streamer named Clavicular. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does this sound crazy to you, or do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I saw this podcast from the Atlantic. I forget the guy's name. There was a podcast from the Atlantic, and there's, like, this older millennial doing a podcast in his attic, and he's like, for those that haven't heard about Clavicular, maybe that's a good thing. I'm sorry I'm about to tell you who he is. For those of you that are chronically online, you probably know who he is. As if you're not doom scrolling, as if you're not a fucking loser that's doom scrolling like the rest of us. Like, these people need to go into the gas chambers. I shouldn't say that, but, like, seriously. The women, too. I think it was...
And the children.
That. Brett Cooper quote tweeted, I'll pull it up for you, because you need to hear this. And you need to hear this. She said something like, I can't believe I understand every word of this tweet. Oh my gosh. And like I said, we like Brett Cooper stuff right now. Yeah. So one stupid bitch said, Pam Bondi is jester maxing and currently being frame mogged by the House Judiciary Committee. She's experiencing visible cortisol spikes as she gets fact mogged while perjury maxing. It goes on. She goes back in for more. Zero composure gains, getting reclamation mogged every 45 seconds for filibuster maxing. That's intelligent pog. Women ruin everything. Women ruin everything. A guy does something really funny. Other guys take notice and say, that's pretty funny. Then the dumbest fucking bitch you've ever heard comes on the internet. She thinks she's so quirky. She thinks she's being so nonchalant, and then she just beats the joke to death. Then she goes in and she fucking beats it to death. Gratuitously. And she comes back for seconds and thirds. Gestramaxing, Framemark, Cortisol, Facmark, Perjury. Shut up. Then she tags in Brett Cooper. It's a two-man. Brett Cooper quote tweets, crying emoji. I hate that I can comprehend all of this. I need to touch grass. Emily, stop.
Dude,
Emily,
oh my
stop.
God, dog.
We can't take you anywhere, Emily. Oh my God, you're so chronically online, Emily. Dude, like, I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't even want to be here anymore.
I don't want to be around anymore.
So I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but it needs to stop. Like, someone needs to put a stop to this.
Damn.
Everything that is good and funny on the internet, like, this is what happens to it. You get, like, it's literally, these are the worst people in the world. I like Brett Cooper again, you know, but, like, she can't help it that she's, like, a white woman on the internet. She can't help that. We can't blame her.
Let's put it right next to fucking...
Like, so we can be frustrated with it. We can't really blame her for it. But I read stuff like that, and I'm just like, wow, you know, wow.
I don't think
So
it's too
that's
tense.
really happening. I hate that I can comprehend all of this. I need to touch grass. I'm so quirky. Oh my God. Emily's crazy. Look, she's wearing her hat upside down. She's crazy.
212.
Okay, anyway. So that's that.
Fuck.
It's these, like I said, it's millennials. It's women on the timeline. They're out of control, and they're ruining Clavicular for me. They're ruining it for me. Anything that is actually, because that actually is good new content in a really like a content drought. Like, we are in content hell, and we have been for a while now.
Dude, what the hell, man?
Have you guys noticed this? We've been in like complete content hell. There's like no content. Nothing ever happens. The content blows. Clavicular was like one good, interesting thing happening, and of course the women got to rush in and fucking ruin it. You know. Anyway, I see that kind of stuff, and I have to go off. So, we're going to move on. We're going to get into the news. Life is so unfair. We're going to get into our featured story here, which is about Pam Bondi. What a train wreck this was. Have you seen this clip? So our featured story is about this hearing which was held in the House Judiciary Committee. Trump administration continues to come under fire for their handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and specifically, people are demanding, one,